My name is Noor Charchafchi. I'm the founder of Celine Interior Design. We're doing a full tour of my Fulham home today. I hope you enjoy it. As you'll see, my entrance area is in really the middle of my living room, and so we wanted to really make sure that we could frame that area so it felt like an entrance. And so what we've done is placed two consoles either side of each other and decorated them so it feels like you've got this sort of walk through into the home. You'll be able to see behind me that we've got some really lovely dark brown rattan boxes which I use strategically under the console table in the entrance so that my kids can place their shoes, though that doesn't always happen, in the boxes when they come home. And you won't be able to miss it. My home is decked out for the festivities, and it's important to mention because you are going to see that all over the house. This year I've actually gone for something a little bit more natural and rustic because I wanted this look to sort of last through the seasons. What you can see behind me is this really gorgeous floor garland that sort of sits very decoratively and doesn't actually flow all the way to the top. So it's just a little touch of it. You'll be able to see this is a really new piece of furniture. It's a U-shaped sofa just in time for Christmas and for those sort of more comfortable moments. I have always split this room, which is quite a long, narrow room, into two sections. What's really lovely about this section, of course, is that we've got the fireplace here. So I wanted to have, rather than a very formal sofa setting, something quite natural, comfortable and soft. This is one of the favorite moments of the house, the fireplace. This is a really important space for us. It brings the family together. And the other lovely thing, of course, as you can see, is this gorgeous garland that was done by Neil Strain. They've done a fabulous job. I could not have done this on my own. On the side of me here, you can see this layering up, not just of materials, but of tables. And I really love what we've done here. I was averse to doing this at first because you can see it sits right opposite the shelving area. A layering of material, so we've got the timber here, the glass, the metal, and it sort of, you know, keeps it a little bit classic, a little bit rustic, but up to date with the modern glass just below me. Okay, so this is the second part of my zoned out living room, and this part is, of course, the part that houses the TV, which is all important when you've got young children. You'll see just in front of me that we've got this really large coffee table, and I think what's really important to note, if I've got a tip about coffee tables, is the bigger the better. And lots of people think that coffee tables actually make, you know, a big coffee table can make your room look smaller. It's really the opposite. The bigger you go with a coffee table in a small space, with the caveat that you do need space to walk around, the better. This coffee table makes this very small space look much bigger than it is. But because this is quite a small area, it was really important to create some kind of depth. And so building some niche areas in there with a little bit of interest, especially because, you know, they've got that sort of splash of a darker color, has really, you know, completely developed this space. Let me take you to the area that houses the terrible TV, as I call it. Now, I'm not a big fan of TV, but of course the rest of the family is. And what's really great about what we've done here is that we've actually closed it, as you can see, and I will try and open this up for you. So when you have guests, the ability to close that up so that actually the focus is the room and not the television is also quite important. The other thing to consider, and that we considered in this area, was this fantastic chess table. Now, this is a chess table made beautifully by David Linley. It is actually one that is in stock and available, so it's quite an easy one to be able to purchase. It's fabulously made. Now let's go into the main kitchen area, and you can see it is a fully open space, so quite easy to walk down to from the living room. I was always sort of wanting this butler style area in my kitchen, and you know, we live in quite a modern home or a contemporary home, and you know, it didn't make sense to have a full-on pantry countryside style area, but I wanted to build something in, and I love loved the idea of incorporating this sort of coffee area, a full-on Smeg range of appliances, all in white, which I really like, and I love the fact that it works so well with the ceramic tops. And then we've just decorated with some different materials so it feels a little bit warmer. So we've got these timber vases, and you can see my glass coffee area with the lovely timber wooden top. So I will talk you through this massive island. Now, we have, I think, gone even more oversized than I thought we would on this island. And I think it's because all of my married life, we never had a big enough space to house a big island. What I've done is, as you can see here, I've placed 6 chairs. We are a family of 5, but often have someone else come to visit. So to place 6 chairs to have, you know, a sort of more casual space to eat and drink in a breakfast area for the kitchen, but also to keep that going. Part of the island actually houses the AC unit, which is very, very strong in the middle of our home. And then we've got the sink and some under storage cabinetry all the way through. We have this really stunning oven here, and I wanted it to be really traditional. I needed to make sure it fit in line with the blue, the cobalt blue on the other side of the kitchen. So rather than going for a standard color, I thought, okay, well, let's see if we could match this blue. And we did. And I think, you know, the gold knobs and, you know, this sort of handle to open the oven is so wonderful, works beautifully with the blue. Let's do the next area, which is my dining space, also a completely open space, open to the kitchen and the living areas. I love to decorate my table. I love to decorate it generally, but I love it even more, of course, in the months of November and December. And we've done a full tablescape of decoration. The florals, again, on this occasion, because Neil Strain helped us really with the rest of the house, they've also come and added in their own floral decorations to the table. And I think whenever the table is dressed, it really elevates that whole sort of festive feeling. And I know my children love it, even though they're not actually allowed to sit here when we're filming. Behind me sits the glorious Christmas tree. Now, this is always one of my favorite looks. I do love a red and gold tree, I have to say, but I save those types of trees for when I'm going to visit Harrods or one of the bigger stores, because in my home, I think if I were to look at a very, very brightly colored tree for more than a month, I'd get very, very fed up with it. So I really love a classic looking tree that feels very neutral, very elegant, and I love our new additions of the Fortnum & Mason baskets. Now, we bought those decorations last year, but they are an absolute to die for decoration. Now, we've gone with this really lovely pattern with birds, and we've mixed that up with a darker green. This was a piano that actually I was gifted by my mum when I was quite young. I used to love to sing, and so I had this years ago, and it's really special because now I've been able to gift it to my son, who plays really, really beautifully and taught himself to play and is fantastic. Welcome to Celine's room. Now, Celine, as some of you will know, is my daughter, after whom I named my company, and she wanted her room bigger and redesigned. So I actually had very little to do with this. So the only thing I really wanted to keep was the beautiful branched wallpaper that you can see on my right-hand side. I'm sitting on this beautiful bed, which is a really lovely canopy bed. We don't have all the sort of draped curtains on here as yet. They are coming and being made as we speak. But what we do have is this really stunning headboard at the back. And as you can see behind me, the pillows were also chosen very much by my daughter, at least the CK pillows. She wanted her name on the pillows, and those are her initials. She is a little bit obsessed with her dog, and so The girls actually had her dog embroidered on one of the pillows with her initials on, which I thought was really, really sweet. She also wanted this full-length mirror, which of course she did. She's a young lady. So rather than just buy any mirror off the shelf, we actually created this mirror ourselves. You can see this really lovely beading detail either side, and then we framed it with the paneling that goes all the way around the room. We have some stunning shelving, and I say stunning shelving, if you have a real look, these were to house her bags. She told me she wanted to have somewhere where she could look at her handbag collection, or my handbag collection, because there are some bags here that have clearly been borrowed, but you know, some of them are hers and some of them I said she could have. So I have one of the first Chanel bags I ever bought, this little tiny Chanel bag, and it's her only real designer bag that I've given her. Everything else is very much borrowed. Welcome to my master bedroom. Now, obviously, this is a special place for me. It is the one area in my home where when I walk in, I really want to feel like I can mentally switch off. I'm a mum of 3, I run a company, and obviously I also record videos. So there is a lot that I need to switch off from when I walk in here. Neutrals really allow me completely to relax. And, you know, there's something about a neutral tone to me that feels very spa-like and very serene. Now, interestingly, taupe and cream are not my favorite colors, though she says wearing gauze and taupe. But I do love a neutral base in terms of what it inspires from me emotionally. Also wanted, of course, my bedroom to be fun. So you can see in the front, I've got these really lovely animal print cushions, and above, rather than having you know, artwork that perhaps inspires more movement, like dance or, you know, just any kind of action, I've got these really still scenes. Actually, they're from India. To be able to switch off is pulling nature through in your designs. We have a sofa in front of the bed, which I feel very, very lucky to be able to have, because that sofa is somewhere that I can really relax in my room. And I think it's so easy to be able to only have or only place a bed in a bedroom. And that, to me, immediately feels like the association with a bedroom is only sleep. Whereas to me, it's important that I can feel that there's a sense of relaxation. And this sofa definitely does that for me. Again, we've styled it with cushions, with a throw, with a little table and some flowers. And I think it definitely feels like a whole space instead of, you know, a space just for one purpose, which of course a bedroom is not. This is my dressing room, and it is my comfort zone, my real relaxation space. This is an area that you come through following the master bedroom. So you'll walk into the master bedroom, and this is a sort of secondary space within the master bedroom. But I wanted a full-on walk-in wardrobe, and this wallpaper is a really stunning leafy paper that completely inspires my ability to transform my energy and mood and completely switch off. Above me, you can see these amazing lights, which I bought even before I bought this house. And my husband thought I was mad, but I bought them and thought, okay, well, I'll just keep them somewhere until I can use them, because again, for me, they felt so much like, I don't know, water, and there were these great big bubbles. There is a handbag collection behind me that you may want to see, but I don't know how tidy or not it is. But anyway, that's the handbag collection. And, you know, I spent my life as a lawyer saving up and buying expensive handbags. And it's so funny because I've come to my age now where, you know, those bags just aren't as important to me. So I stopped buying handbags a long time ago. I'll very rarely buy one if, you know, it's really something that I think is outstanding. But to be honest with you, though and it looks like I've got many bags, I have not bought handbags in a long time. Welcome to my master bathroom. This is a double bathroom, so we have tried to put double of everything in here. Double mirrors, double vanity, and a double shower area. And again, we've done a really neutral color going on in this space because we wanted it to feel very spa-like and soft. And also, it's the bathroom that we walk in through straight after the dressing room. So of course you want to sort of keep that same energy of softness and lightness. We'll need updating and regrouting and everything else in a year or maybe even sooner. But for now, I love it, and it is my quiet space. And that was the end of the home tour. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow. Bye.